Shalom, shalom Israel. First and foremost, we'd like to give our praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Rakakodash. The honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Stone. Shalom to the brothers in the highways and byways, preaching and teaching His word in sincerity and in truth. This is your brother Shapal from James Jamaica camp. Alright, so as I did a lesson the other day about these parables that the Lord basically speak, that they have depth, and that they are always speaking about the kingdom of heaven, and how the Lord basically used these carnal analogy, to explain something way spiritual, right? So here we have another one today in Luke 9 and verse 62, right? So let's just get into it. It says, and Yahushua said unto him, no man having put his hand to the plow and looking back is fit for the kingdom of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Right? So it says, no man putting his hand to the plow and looking back isn't fit for the kingdom. Right? Now what I did is I basically went into ChatGPT, right? And I worded it the best way I can before here. I was wording it before ChatGPT interrupted. So, it was basically saying, not being this. Let me just read what ChatGPT gave me when I asked about the symbolic of the scripture. It says, so the idea of not looking back is often used as a symbol of commitment, right, and focus in faith. It says, when Yahushua says it, it's about not being distracted by past regrets or old ways, right? Once you are on the journey forward, right, so it's kind of a call to complete trust and purpose in what lies ahead, right? So it's basically based upon a trust and stay in the course and not, looking back or diverting of the path. Let me get another scripture. This is Matthew 6 and verse 22. He said, the light of the body is the eye. If therefore thine eye be single, thine whole body is full of light. Right? Going back to the same thing, man. No distraction. Your eye is supposed to be single. You're supposed to have basically a tunnel vision. Right? And seeing where you want to go through the guidance of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. And trusting the ways of the Lord, that the Lord is going to take you, to that journey. All right. No. So this is what I asked. I said, what is the symbolic reference to the literal farming and plowing and not looking back? Right. This is what it says. So exactly so. It says, when you're thinking about plowing, it was a physical, demanding, very focused task. If a farmer looked back while plowing, right, the furrow would be crooked, the row, because when a ox was plowing, one used to use is manual plow equipment. I don't know what it's called now, but the plowshare, that equipment, have to be manually directed, by the farmer. See? So to keep it on the straight path, your hard was to guide it. The oxen or the cow would do the heavy lifting and pulling, but you would have to be there guiding so that your crops could grow in the perfect row. You know what I mean? Like it normally would. If you take your eye off the plow, then it would be crooked. So, that's and being crooked is symbolic to going off the path. Doing things that is not right, which a straight path would be a righteous path. You understand? So it says, if a farmer looked back while plowing the furrow, would get crooked. It says the entire crop pattern will fail. As symbolism, it means stay in the full presence and committed to the journey ahead. Don't let the past distraction or doubt pull you off course. Right? And these are things that can pull us off course. Distraction, doubt, cares of this world. Right? Just like let me get this just give me a moment. Alright, so this is well, you know what, let me get this first. This is Luke 17 and verse, we can start at verse 32. It says, remember Lot's wife. And just to get to the point, we know what before Lot's wife, right? She looked back, when they were given straight orders basically to flee out of the land. Sodom and Gomorrah was being destroyed. And they were given an order basically not to look back, right? And she looked back. And you remember the reason why she looked back, man, is because spiritually, because these scriptures are the things that are written aforetime was written for our learning, right? To wait through patient in the scripture may have hope, right? She looked back because she were considering or missing the lifestyle, of, what you were partaking in, So we ain't supposed to be in that mindset. It says, whosoever shall seek to save his life shall lose it. And whosoever shall lose his life shall preserve it. Right? So the reason why I brought the scripture out, is to show that, look, we're not supposed to be in the mindset of Lot's wife, because once the kingdom of heaven is coming, once the Lord comes to destroy this place, we're not going to be in the mindset of looking back. We're supposed to be forward. Don't look back. The only reason why a person would look back is because they're going to miss certain lifestyle, miss certain things. So if you are considering the things that you're going to miss, right, then basically you're not considering the things that Yahushua is offering you. That means that you don't trust the Most High. You know what I mean? And that's what the symbolic that's what that's symbolic of. You know what I mean? The Lord promised you 1,000 times. The Lord promised you salvation. 1,000 times what you're gonna lose, salvation, and you see the deliverance of the Lord over and over and over again. So when the Lord said, look, step, move, don't look back, you know what I mean? Then you don't look back. That's trusting in the Lord, man. Right? And we're not supposed to be in the mindset of Lot's wife, because whatsoever you lose on the side, you're gonna gain more. Right? So I don't want to divert from the lesson, so yeah, man. Let me get this. This is Hebrews 10 and verse 38. It says, Now the just shall live by faith, but if any man draw back, my soul shall have no pleasure in him. We are not of them that draw back unto perdition, right? Perdition means destruction, but of them that believe to the saving of the soul. See? So he said, the just shall live by faith. If any man draw back, my soul shall have no pleasure in them, because the scripture says it's better the end of a thing than the beginning. You know what I mean? This is likened unto a race, and at the end we shall get a reward. Right? If you draw back, you're going to draw back into destruction, because this is the map towards salvation. Right? Speaking about the word of the Lord, you know what I mean? getting to know Yahweh Hashem Yahshai, trusting, believing, praying for faith and all of those things, and not to look back on the ways or even getting caught up in the ways of this life. See, because once you draw back, right, you're going to draw back into destruction, right? See, this is Colossians 3 and verse 1. It says, if ye then be risen with a Mashiach, seek the things which are above, right, where Yahweh shall sitteth on the right hand of Yahweh. Set your affection on things above and not the things on earth, right? Set your affection on the things above and not the things on the earth. Once you come to that light and the things that are promised unto you, you're supposed to fix your mind on that, right? You're supposed to fix your mind on that and don't get distracted, right? And never take your eye off of that. That's what keep us going daily, man. The promise of a new kingdom. We're not going to be taxed every day of our life. We're not going to end up, That's what keep us going. See? Right? So it's a set of affection on the things above, not the things on earth, because it's temporal, it's carnal. For ye are dead, and your life is hidden in a Mashiach, right? In Yahweh. When Yahweh, who is our life, shall appear, then ye shall appear with him in glory. It says, mortify therefore your members upon the earth, right? Fornication, uncleanness, inordinate affection, evil concupiscences, and covetousness, which is idolatry. So all of these things plague the body and the flesh. Are we supposed to make, mortify, going to make dead your flesh, to basically strengthen the mind, because the scripture says, though the outward man perish, the inward man is renewed day by day. So we're supposed to make dead our members, man. When they come on to these things, we're supposed to be, you're not supposed to be indulging, right? We're supposed to curve and change our minds, It says, for which things sake the wrath of God cometh upon the children of disobedient, right? And then you can go down and read it, say, in which ye also walk sometimes when ye live in them, right? Sometimes when you live in them, but now ye also put off all these anger and wrath, malice, blasphemy, filthy communication out of thy mouth. Lie not to one another, seeing that ye put off the old man and his deeds, right? And have put on the new man, which is renewed in knowledge after the image of him that created him, right? Which go back to the last part of the first example that it gives. It says, let's read that again. So yeah, also the idea is not looking back. It's often used as a symbol of it's like a commitment and focus in faith. When Yahushua says it, it's about not being distracted by past regrets, right? Or old ways, right? Once you're on the journey forward. So it's kind of a call to complete trust, right? And purpose in what lies ahead, right? Let me read the bottom part again. It says, yeah, exactly so. It says, when you think about plowing, it is a physical, demanding, very focused task. If a farmer looked back while plowing, the furrow, right, would get crooked and the entire crop pattern would fail. So, symbolical, it means staying fully present and committed to the journey ahead. Don't let past regret distract you, right? Distractions or doubt pull you off, right? And there's a lot of things that can pull you off your course. So you're supposed to stay on the right course, man, and pray the Lord, Yahweh Hashem Yahshai, to help us, to finish this work. So with that, we want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem HaKadosh. The honors to the apostles of Great Stone. Shalom to the brothers in the highways and the byways, preaching, teaching this word in sincerity and in truth. Shalom.